I want to take you on an imaginary trip. Close your eyes. You have just entered the exit door. And when you look outside, there stands a blind person. Open your eyes. Who did you see? Keep it to yourself. Blind ambition, my journey to greatness, despite my blindness. From the Tar Heels of North Carolina to the Hollywood Hills of California. In my 70-plus years, I have learned that we don't have the power to make life fair, but we do have the power to make life joyful. Long ago, early on, I learned that life was tough, but apparently I am tougher. So how tough are you? Thank you for asking. Let me tell you, I was born on a plantation. I dealt with discrimination and difficulties along the way. I was barred from movie theaters, restaurants, restrooms, and even water fountains. I attended segregated schools and had to use hand-me-down books. I marched in the civil rights movement under the leadership of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. One evening, 2,000 strong, we marched from the campus of North Carolina Central University 5 miles to Sears, Roebuck and Company. We were protesting Sears and Roebuck's refusal to hire blacks. As we marched, we sang, "We shall overcome someday." Rocks, stones, and all kinds of debris was thrown on us. But we didn't stop. In the 60s, it was nonviolence. We continued to march. And when we reached the parking lot of Sears, Roebuck and Company, we sat down, held hands, and began to sing. Over my head, I see freedom in the air. Over my head, I see freedom in the air. Over my head, I see freedom in the air. There must be a God somewhere. The police moved in, ordered us to move. Refusing the order, we remained steadfast in our sitting positions, continued to hold hands, and the police were driving buses at a very fast speed. It seemed as if they were going to run over us. We were crying, screaming, praying. But the buses continued to move in our direction. The buses stopped suddenly. The police got out, and they began to pick us up, shove, push us onto the buses, and they hauled us off to jail. They packed us into the jail cells like sardines in a can. We were singing and shouting. We were so close to each other that if necessary, we could perform mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. It was announced that the jail keeper had had a heart attack and died. This was frightening to me. My greatest concern was that my aunt and uncle whom I was living with would pack me up and send me back to the plantation. But also, I was concerned for my parents because none of them approved of me being involved in the civil rights movement. And they didn't approve because if their employers learned that I was involved in the civil rights movement, they could lose their jobs. But that was the risk that I had to take because I was fighting for our civil rights. I was the third of 7 children raised by my parents and paternal grandparents who were sharecroppers on the Cooleemee Plantation. 3 sisters and I were born with retinitis pigmentosa, gradual loss of vision due to the rods and cones in the eyes that die. In addition to retinitis pigmentosa, one of my sisters had a terminal illness and died at the age of 16. Another sister had a sudden illness and died at the age of 22. Night blindness was one of the early stages of retinitis pigmentosa. I was ashamed and didn't know how to share my feelings. One incident that happened, my sister and I were so anxious to attend a football game at Dunbar High in Lexington, North Carolina. Oh, I was excited. I was dating the quarterback. When we entered into the stadium, it was light, daylight. But on our return from the stadium at the end of the game, it was dark. And so, as we were leaving the stadium, we didn't realize that there were little lanterns that were lit up to indicate that there was danger, construction going on. And so, of course, not being able to see, my sister Rosie and I fell into a 4.5-foot hole. The people around us didn't even help. They probably thought we were drunk. We weren't drunk, we just couldn't see. After college, I moved to New Jersey to start my teaching career, except that a short 4 years later, I was forced to resign because of my impending blindness. I was devastated, felt sorry for myself, thought that someday I would probably just be sitting in a rocking chair, waiting for my Social Security disability check to come. But I never gave up my faith. I never lost my faith. I never gave up my hope. And I landed another job with the Department of Health and Human Services as a counselor trainee. It didn't matter that they started me at the bottom because I knew that someday I would move to the top. Well, I still didn't have any blindness skills. I received a call from the National Federation of the Blind, an organization where the community and the members and friends believe in the hopes and dreams of the nation's blind. They invited me to a convention that was held in Phoenix, Arizona. I had just gotten my job and was afraid of leaving, but I decided to go. It was the change that I needed in my life. After attending that convention in Phoenix, where I learned about the NFB centers, I learned that there were professional blind people working in their chosen careers. I left that convention so full of love, hope, and determination. Returning to New Jersey to my job, knowing that there was hope still for me. 2 years later, I took a leave of absence and attended the Louisiana Center for the Blind, Ruston, Louisiana, where I learned Braille, computer and technology skills, independent living skills, and all of those skills that I learned helped me to gain the confidence and the competence that I needed in order to return to New Jersey to my job. After returning, I was anxious to integrate all of my skills into both my personal and professional life. And slowly but surely, I moved up the ladder. After returning with all those skills, I began to coordinate a program called the LEAD program, mentoring blind teenagers, teaching leadership, education, advocacy, and determination. I also became the founder and president of the National Federation of the Blind Garden State Chapter, first vice president of the National Federation of the Blind of New Jersey. After retiring, after 26 years with the state of New Jersey, I moved to California and became first vice president and now serving as president of the National Federation of the Blind of California. None of us can attain success entirely on our own, but with God, family, friends, the tools that we need, the education, a positive attitude, and one of the most powerful organizations in the world for me, the National Federation of the Blind, we can celebrate the realization of our dreams. I would like to share with you a poem that I've written as I travel all over the United States of America and abroad. I share this poem with people wherever I go, especially when they ask, what is it like to be blind? I can't see the ocean, but I can feel the breeze. I can't see the trees, but I can touch the leaves. I can't see a child, but I can hear one grow. I can't see your smile, but I can feel your glow. I can't see a hillside or a rainbow I can't find. But I'm not missing out on rainbows because they are painted on my mind. I can't see a garden, but I can smell the flowers. I can't see a timepiece, but I can certainly count the hours. I can't see a house, but I always know when I'm at home. I can't see you sitting there, but I know I am never alone. I can see joy, I can see happiness, and I can see blessings from above. So no, I may not be able to see a hillside or a rainbow I can't find, but believe me, I'm not missing out on life because it's painted on my mind. God bless you. I love you, and let's celebrate Black History Month.